living like we're brothers, grinning ear to ear, walking toward my table like you missed me for a year. I'm searching through my memory like a dusty filing bin, trying to place that dimple and that crooked little chin. You asked about my mother and the incident with the cat. I'm nodding and I'm laughing, saying, yeah, imagine that. But the gears are turning slowly in the back of my poor mind. I'm looking for a context that my brain just cannot find. I'm scanning for a yearbook or a wedding invitation, while I'm trapped inside this friendly one-way conversation. Oh, your face doesn't ring a bell, but I should know your name. You're acting like we're partners in some legendary game. I'm smiling through the panic, doing everything I can to pretend I know exactly who you are, you mystery man. I'm a master of the hey buddy and the how have you been, because your name is somewhere else and I'm just guessing when. You mentioned Uncle Jerry in the summer at the lake. I'm wondering if this isn't just a terrible mistake. Did we go to school together? Were you in my sister's class? Or did I meet you once while we were buying premium gas? You're telling me a story about a guy named Sneaky Pete, while I'm staring at your forehead, feeling nothing but defeat. I can't ask it now, it's been too long, it's far too late. The clock has struck the hour of my social awkward fate. I'll just live this life forever, I'll be your best friend today, and I'll never let on that your name is drifting far away. Oh, your face doesn't ring a bell, but I should know your name. You're acting like we're partners in some legendary game. I'm smiling through the panic, doing everything I can to pretend I know exactly who you are, you mystery man. I'm a master of the hey buddy and the how have you been, because your name is somewhere else and I'm just guessing when. As you walked away you shouted, see you later little brother, and the floor beneath my feet began to tilt like no other. Was I adopted? Is the mystery solved at last? Wait, come back here, stranger. You're moving way too fast. Finger picking fades out. Yeah, I still don't know his name.
Alrighty. How we doing? All right, let's get back up here to the comment sections. Hey, Bobby, how we doing? Hey, how you doing? All right, so I haven't got anybody joining in yet tonight, so we'll see what happens. So as we all discussed before, everybody wanted me to start out on my own little rant or whatever anyway, so that's fine. So, everybody sees me and I've always got glasses on, right? Well, it's because they're reading glasses and I have to have them on in order to see, read the comments basically, or anything I've got wrote down for notes. So everybody's heard of America's Best Eyewear. We'll give you a free eye exam and 2 pairs of glasses for one low price. It's a lie. I went to them and I did the eye exam. I went through the whole thing, picked out the frames. About cheapest, I got the cheapest frames they had on the rack. Not because they were cheap, but just because that's all I wanted. But anyway, they're supposed to be 2 pair for one low price. At the end of the day, they charged me $438.95. Of course, I went with special ones, because I have a progressive eyesight. If I look down, I can read real fine print, but if I look up, I can see clearly, long distances away or whatever. And the glasses were perfect for that. Hi, Beverly. And so they called me, or they sent me a text message, said, okay, your glasses are back, ready to be picked up. And I said, all right, cool. So I went there. My glasses, plural wise, they should have said your glasses ready because it was only 1 pair. And they wanted to argue with me about it. And I told them, right, every TV ad they have says, your eye exam and 2 pair of glasses, 1 low price. My price was pretty high. I expected it to be higher because, again, I wanted progressive lenses. They had to be polycarbonate, not plastic and all this stuff. Hey, making it home. How we doing? Well, when they decided they were only going to give me 1 pair of glasses, I told them, I said, no, that's false advertisement. She says, well, you can call the Better Business Bureau if you want. I said, well, first of all, I'm going to tell you what I want, is I want my money back. You can keep your glasses because it's not the deal we made when I came here. And if you want to argue with me about what your commercial says, every sign in this building right here says eyewear and 2 pair of glasses, and it's based on how much the frames cost versus how much you pay at the end of the day. Not what lenses go into them, but what the frames are. And she didn't want to argue with me. She said, well, you can call the Better Business Bureau if you want. And she gave me my money back, and I looked at her and I said, by the way, I says, I'm a business owner too. I don't call the Better Business Bureau. When I see false advertisement, hey, Peterson, when I see false advertisement, what I do is I automatically reach out to the Attorney General's office and say, hey, this one needs to be investigated, So I didn't turn them in. They gave me my money back. I did stop at Empire Vision Works right here locally to me. And I've got a doctor's appointment there on February 9th at 11 o'clock to go through the whole same process again. I expect there to be more, but there they actually give me 2 pairs of glasses. So that's my whole goal is just 2 pair. I got to have 2 pair. I want 1 to keep in the car at all times and 1 to keep with me at all times, because I've had times where I've walked out of the house in a hurry to go do something, and now I've got to read something or whatever, and I can't do it without glasses. So I actually have 3 pair of reading glasses in the car to give you an idea how many times I've done that, and I'm just worried about it happening again. And not only that, but what happens if I break the glasses? I want a backup pair. I don't want to have to go pay for it all over again right away. So that's my goal. That's my rant on America's worst eyeglasses. I've got another rant for today too. I didn't even know this was going on in my hometown, but I had to go to Walmart earlier. I'd do some running around. I had to go to the bank, go to Walmart, put gas in the car, because I was at my car dealership yesterday, and I'm going to be going back to that probably Wednesday to get some more work done with it. But coming back from Walmart, I crossed our little main street in Cortland, and they had an anti-ice protest going on with professional signs made. And they're all out there, honk if you agree, blah, 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 blah. Well, I had an officer riding behind me, so I didn't give him the middle finger like I wanted. I just gave him a big thumbs down right in the front window of the car. And a lot of them give me the finger back. I don't give a shit. It doesn't hurt my feelings any. I'm a grown up. They should grow up. But when I got home, I posted it on Facebook. I says, all I want to know is, where do you get your signs? That's all I want to know. Because there's still one unknown in all of these protests and stuff that's going on, is who's funding it. And if they tell me where they get their signs from, I have a way of finding out who's funding it. And I have a way of transferring that information over to the words it needed to be transferred to. So hopefully somebody stupid sees my remark and says, well, we get them from here. Okay, great. That's the one thing we don't know yet is who's paying for all these paid protesters to be out there doing this stuff. And these ones in Cortland were definitely paid protesters. A lot of them were college students, to give you an idea. They picked Saturday to do it because there's no classes here on Saturdays. But they'll probably be there Sunday. They'll probably be there Monday because Monday's Martin Luther King birthday, and they'll be out there celebrating that by protesting again, I guess. I don't know. That's just, for me, that's an eyesore. I don't want to see it in my town. Just like the homeless people, I didn't want to see them in my town. It's getting to be crazy, Beverly. It really is. Anyway, so after I came back to Portland, I stopped at the gas station. This is something else that got me going. Coming back from my car dealership's in Canandaigua, New York, which is a 2-hour drive from me. And about the middle of that drive, about a 1-hour distance, I was passing gas stations at $2.44.9 for gas, without being members or any of that stuff. Just $2.44.9. And I was like, wow, their gas out here is cheap. I should have stopped at one of them, but I needed to get gas in the car because, I was down to a little bit of gas. And so I ended up going local, $2.77.9, which wasn't bad. I get another nickel off on top of that because I use a fleet card. And Gas Buddy, by the way, if you haven't never heard of them, they've got an app you can put on your phone for free. Tells you where the cheapest gas in your area is, which station's doing it or whatever. But if you join as a member, it's like $5.99 a month now, I believe. I've never used it, but they have all the same services that you would get if you had AAA. Plus, you save 50 cents a gallon off on your first gallon of your first 50 cents off a gallon on your first tank full at the beginning of every month, plus 5 cents a gallon for every gallon thereafter. It's a good program. I know I save far more a month on gas than what I pay to be a member of it. But I have roadside assistance and all that on my car, so I have no need for the AAA part of it. And I don't even know how to use it, so I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, I was amazed how much difference 1 hour difference would make. Now, I know like Wednesday, when I'm planning on going back, hopefully. The underside of our car, short-handed, how you doing? The underside of the new Hyundai Elantra is, I have the limited edition, but all of them, if you look underneath the car, you can't see any body at all underneath that car. It's all covered in big ABS plastic sheets. Well, mine got destroyed. I pulled into ex-coworker's driveway. I thought he was home because somebody was mowing the lawn. It turned out his neighbor was mowing his lawn for him. But I hit a stone in the middle of his driveway, and it tore that ABS plastic sheet a little bit, to the point where it kind of ripped into it and then accordioned it back as I drove across the rock pulling out of his driveway. And so I had to go, borrow a jack to get underneath the car because it sat too low for my jack to get under it, and cut that piece off. Well, then driving down the highway, I got behind a tractor trailer, and they get them big clumps of road grime and everything, and the ice and everything built up behind their wheels where their mud flaps are. But one of them dropped out and it shattered on the road, and I couldn't get out from away from it, so I ended up driving over probably the biggest piece, and it went up into where that piece was already broken and shattered and brought it back down to the road again. And I'm just like, I'm not going back in there and cutting that back out again. I'm just going to have that piece replaced. That piece originally was like $449, and the dealer, because I just had him do brakes and stuff on the car, said, well, we can get it. We can do it for $322. And I was like, all right, well, how much time is it going to take? And he says, oh, it's just minutes, brother. I says, all right, so what about the labor? And he says, no, we're not charging you for labor. I says, all right, go ahead and do it. Well, then he came out about 15 minutes later, and he says, I had to order that part. I sent the guys to the warehouse across the street because it said we had one in stock, but the one we have in stock is one for the driver's side of the car, and they aren't the same. They're not interchangeable. So I had to order it, but it should be in by Monday. So I told him, I said, all right, well, call me when you know that it's in place. But I've got to go to Union Springs, which is right in that area of that 1 hour drive towards there anyways. almost exactly in that area on Wednesday. So I'm hoping I can combine the two trips together so I don't have to make two separate trips out, because I don't mind driving. I really don't. But, 4 hours for the work at the dealership and 2 hours to do the Union Spring run. If I can combine them all together and just make it one 4 hour trip out and back, then I'm game for that. That's fine by me. That was another thing. I see a lot of people. I don't know. I'm getting old, I guess, but I see a lot of people that if they see a speed limit sign and it says 40 miles an hour, that to them says that's your maximum speed you're allowed to go. Anything over that is speeding. And I laugh about it because I've never done that 40-mile speed zone at 40 miles an hour before in my life, unless I'm following somebody else. And they're probably older than me, which is really weird because, cops don't watch us as much anymore as they do the young ones. But me, I normally blow through those areas 45, 46, 47. I never worry about it. And I never get pulled over for it. I've gone through 40-mile speed zones, pushing 46, 47, and past the cop to doing radar, and they just sit there and let me go by, and they never come out and follow me or anything. I mean, it might have something to do with the decals on my back window of my car, but I highly doubt it. That's what I've been told, but I highly doubt it. On the back of all my vehicles, the back window, there is a vinyl decal that says letter carrier with a picture of an envelope. It's in the same spot on both vehicles. And that's a requirement because I do take mail to the post office in bulk. We are a mega shipper for our seed business. And that was one of the requirements that I had to have, was that we were a mega shipper so we could pull into the restricted areas of the post offices to be able to drop this off instead of dragging everything through the front doors of them or whatever. We'll take it through the back door, put it in a bin, hand them the pieces of paper that tell them what's in those bags or whatever, and then they just scan the paper and they know exactly what's in each one of those bags. But yeah, so those decals for me were a requirement on the vehicle. And on my truck, it was also a requirement to have the safety yellow light on top of it, because when I back up to the loading dock at the one in Cortland, you have to have the yellow safety light. So if the guy comes in to plow the driveway, he doesn't hit your vehicle. I don't know why they made that a requirement, but Cortland Post Office did at the time, and it's been on my truck ever since, and I don't care. Actually, I've transferred it from truck to truck a couple times now. I don't care. I use it all the time during the winter time anyway. I'm one of these guys that I'm a nice guy, and I have a battery operated safety yellow jacket that has the yellow reflective glow bands on it and the black and all that on the sleeves and whatnot. And it looks like what you'd see a state trooper in, basically, on a real cold day, directing traffic or whatever. I bought one of those because I do it a lot of times where I help the sheriff's department direct traffic if there's an accident or something. If people are trying to drive stupid around an accident scene, I'll block that off so they only have one way to get around it. The cops don't care about getting run over or whatever. And I'll stay there until they're done doing whatever they're doing. I mean, it's not like I'm in a hurry to go to work or anything. I'm retired now, semi-retired. And then I went out and I bought a second one at auction, because the price is right. I bought it for like $35. Only that one doesn't have the built-in battery pack, so I can't just push a button and keep warm. But it's a nice looking jacket, and it is a warm jacket by all means. And I wear one of those two almost every day whenever I leave the house and it's cold outside, just for the sake of doing it. But with my truck, the yellow light I have on top is a programmable one. I love it. It's held on with a 4 earth magnets, which are the strongest magnets you can get. If you want to take it off the top of the truck, you got to get a pry bar underneath that thing because it's not coming off. I've had car washes tell me, "Oh, you got to take that light off the top of your truck or else you can't go through our car wash." This one thing will blow at 500 miles an hour. I laugh at them. And when if your 500 miles blows that off, I'll give you $1,000 and I'll replace my own freaking light and window. It ain't going to happen. It's not coming off. They don't come off. I don't transfer them truck to truck. I just leave it on the truck and go buy another light because it's easier. And they're not that expensive. Every tow truck I've seen or plow truck I've seen, that don't have lights on them, I'll pull over on the side of the road and I'll go talk to them and say, well, this is where you can get this light, and this is how much it costs. This is what your requirement as a person plowing snow anywhere on any public streets in that area or whatever, even just doing personal driveways, you're required to have this light on your vehicle. And I've talked a lot of them into going to buy them, and every one of them I've talked to, they come back and told me, oh, those lights are awesome. I know. And because they're programmable, you can change the way they're set. You can just have a little yellow flashing light up on top. It doesn't matter what you set it to. As long as you have something as a yellow flashing light on top of your plow vehicle, then that's all that's required for you. And me personally, mine looks like a cop light. It flashes yellow and white back and forth. And now they've got a new one out that's yellow, white, and green that flashes back and forth. It really gets attention faster. I'm kind of leaning towards buying another one, but like I say, I don't want to try to take that thing off the top of my truck. I might have to wait till I buy a new truck. Which I don't want to do. I just put a newer motor in the one I got now. So the last thing I want to do is get rid of this one and go get another one, but I am leaning towards it. I only owe $5,000 more on it now. I owed over $8,000 on that truck when the motor first started kicking the crap, and I paid $8,000 in motor repairs and another replacement motor for it. So I should have just paid the truck off, sold it with the bad motor. It was still drivable then, so it didn't matter. And then whoever bought it could have done the dealing with it. They probably would have got it a lot cheaper, but it don't matter. But I have been looking at other trucks. The one I had before this one was red, and I'm kind of leaning towards another red truck. I've got a red boxed in utility trailer, so I really am leaning towards another red truck. But I'm not sure. The one that I had before was Nissan Titan. I really liked that truck. I put a lot of money into that truck, and I just got tired of putting money into it, so I sold it. And then I bought this Chevy truck. Well, should have kept the Nissan Titan because all the money I had put into it was all the money it needed to have put into it. It was ready to roll down the road. No, not me. No, it's paid for. I might as well go buy another one. So I bought a lemon. I sold that one for $7,000, and the person that bought it, I think it was 2 months after they bought it, he loaned it to somebody else, and they crashed it into somebody else's vehicle. Damn near killed those people. And because my registration sticker was still in the window, they turned it into my insurance company. And I fought with my insurance company, and I told them, I said, look, I've got a copy of the accident report right here, where the person I sold the truck to actually showed up at the scene of the accident and told the cop, I own this truck. And the cop says, well, I don't think you do. And the guy says, no, really, I do. I own this truck. And so the cop got his name and wrote it down on the police report, thankfully. So I was able to take that police report, mail it to the insurance company, showing that I no longer own this truck. This guy owned the truck. He's admitting to it in front of an officer that he owns this truck. He just never registered it under his own name or anything. He kept using my stickers and whatnot, which I learned a lesson on that. I'm not going to go over that anymore, but they totaled the truck and they totaled the other person's vehicle. So my insurance didn't go up, thankfully, because I was able to work with my insurance company and get it straightened away, saying, look, this wasn't me. And I actually had the bill of sale and everything to send to him too, showing that, I sold this truck. This is the guy that bought it. And now he's at this accident scene saying, yeah, that's my truck, and that's got the same name on it. Yeah, that was weird. All right, well, I seen Troy Sutton running around in here. Troy, are you going to help come join in tonight, or are you going to hang back and not join in? It's up to you. If you don't join in, I will tell you guys this much. I probably will cut it short tonight. I don't have a whole lot to talk about, but that's okay too. Not an issue. All right, well, so what else has been going on? We just brought back one of our original OG people for the seed business to do nothing but fill seed packets. This kid, he worked for us, and he was fast. I mean, he was fast. He was accurate. There's Troy. I knew somebody would come in and put a rescue to getting this one out of here early. Oh, what's up, mister?
What's happening?
Not much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we brought this OG in, and he's really fast. And I had him in there in the seed house with Leah today for a couple hours. I think he was here for about 5 hours, just to get him used to doing it again. And she could teach him all the things that's been changed because, he hasn't been here for 5 years. And over 5 years, many things have changed out there. So I told him, I said, that's great. You want to work with her? I want you to work with her because if he had a question, I'd be like, I don't know. I'm never out there. Just because I own the business doesn't mean I run it, Although I have gone out there quite a few times to work out there, putting seed orders together and whatnot. All right, so Troy, what's exciting going on in your life?
Not much. I finally got the. I think I got the water leak fixed from last weekend. And it was leaking right there by the skylights and was dripping right in front of my keyboard. So I had to fix that really quick.
Oh.
So.
I actually had a brand new computer. It was probably the best laptop I ever bought. I think it was like a $1,700 laptop.
Yeah.
And I bought it just for running my big CO2 laser. So I built a shelf next to the laser for it to sit on, had a chair there, and there was a beam that ran up through the wall.
Yeah.
And held the upstairs porch roof on. Well, it never got flashed around that beam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently it rained and the water was going down that beam, and where we built that wall, we attached it to that beam, so it was coming down. It was hitting that 2x4 that we attached the wall to.
Yeah.
And then ran down, and found a spot inside the ceiling to run across and dripped right down inside that laptop computer. I went to use it and it wasn't on. I'm like, I always leave this computer on. I don't know why it's not on. So, not even checking it. I just hit the power button. Nothing. I was like, well, that's weird. So I unplugged it and I went to pick it up because it wasn't an area where I actually had room to work on it.
Yeah.
And all this water come pouring out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I fried it.
Yeah.
They got taken to the local recycle center after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was worried to death it was going to mess up my computer and everything. So I still got a video I got to finish editing, and Drake's supposed to be here in a little bit. And
I just bought a new computer for out in the seed house because I was out there working on trying to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And every time I tried to do something, I'd have to restart the computer. Well, that computer was so slow. If I said, okay, well, restart Windows, so I could close that program down that's not working, I could come into the house, drink a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette, take a good healthy dump, go out there, and it'd be just ready for me to put my password in.
Yeah.
And I had to do it 3 times in one day. The third time when it said you have to reset the computer, and the time it took for that computer to reset, I came up to my office, ordered a brand new computer, and then when that new computer came in, and I went to set it up, I didn't know it, but new desktop computers, they don't have a monitor out
Really?
Port like they used to. Yeah, they're all HGTV.
Yeah.
I seen that, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm on my way to Walmart. And Leah's like, for what? I said, well, I can't do anything with this computer till I can hook it up to a monitor. And I'm not hooking it up to the big screen TV because now I'd have the computer down here with the keyboard, looking up the TV up on the wall, and I'd be going like this and going like that. I am not doing that. I'm sorry. So I got the smallest HGTV screen I could find that was a regular monitor.
Right.
And they're inexpensive anyway. I think it was like $90.
Right.
Brought that back home, got it plugged in. Thankfully, it came with a cord, but I had an extra 6-foot cord if it didn't, because my intention is not to have these two be 6 feet apart anymore.
Right.
But I got that all hooked up, and I bought a program to transfer from one computer to the other. they weren't wanting to talk together or anything else. I couldn't do it over the internet because that computer was so slow and the internet out there was so slow. It was taking forever, and then it would break down and say, well, we timed out or whatever.
Right.
I was like, all right. So I reached out to LapLink. I says, all right, send me your special cord, the USB 3.0 cord for doing instant transfers between two computers.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me that. I hooked it up, and I went to transfer the information over. And it was saying both computers were reading as being the new computer. So the new computer couldn't connect to the old computer because the old computer was connected as a new computer as well. And I was like, what the heck? So I got a hold of the company. I was like, all right, now I'm really screwed, guys. And what do I do now? And they're like, well, what's happening? And I told him, and he says, oh my God. He says, I don't know how that could have happened. I said, I don't know either, because both of them were talking to each other fine when I did it on Wi-Fi.
Right.
So when I plugged your cord in there, they both came up as being the new computer. Now they won't talk at all. So they gave me another program to download. So I downloaded that. I got it all transferred over in a real short time. And I went to check out some of the files on the computer, and it didn't transfer all of the programs over.
Right.
One of them was our most important, our label program, for making our package labels. And I was like, all right. So I started scrambling, and I was reaching around, and I found another label company, and I said to him, I says, well, your label designer, it's called My Label Designer, is that compatible with the database? Yes, it is. Can I use a database that's already been set up? Yes, you can. Okay, great. I bought the program. A day after I bought the program, and I verified that yes, everything they told me was true before I bought it. The company I got the original from, Avery, I was so pissed about it, I sent them a nasty email, and they sent me a copy of the original label program,
right,
to be used on that new computer. And I'm like, okay, so I've got this, like, I think it's a 3 terabyte hard drive. That's an external hard drive I can transfer computer to computer. That was the first program that went on that hard drive.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's going to stay on there. I don't care. If I ever have to buy another computer, I've always got that program available. Even though it's no longer supported, I don't care. I never called their support for anything before anyway.
Right.
I even reached out to the company that sells us our labels, which isn't Avery anymore, and said, look, if we can't find a label program that'll take the place of this one, we won't have a need to buy labels anymore, and we're not going to be buying from you anymore. So what can you do to help? You know?
Right. I cannot do anything with a computer. I can't even get my printer to work.
I'm very good with it, but only because I used to own a computer store.
Right.
So I was hands and dirty on all of them all the time. But the thing I don't like about it is if you go out and buy a brand new computer today, half the parts that are in it will be obsolete tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Beverly, how do you like the Chromebook? I was looking at the Chromebook, but I didn't want to be a Google only kind of person I'm not an alphabet soup kind of person.
Yeah.
I like my Windows because Windows has a lot of programs that Chrome doesn't support. And I've never been an Apple guy. I did own one Apple computer in my life, and I kind of let that go really cheap because I didn't like it at all. I know a lot of people that swear by them, and I know a lot of people like me never will buy them.
Yeah.
Same thing with like an Apple iPhone.
Well,
who needs to carry around a $2,500 phone in their pocket?
Well, I got mine new, and it was back when the iPhone 12s came back out, and this one I got it from AT&T, and it cost me $100.
Well, see, you got a part of the compound package discount deal.
Yeah, I told them I owned a lawn cutting business, and because I'm on my yard, and they gave me to a business discount.
All right.
Or it would have been over $1,000.
They're very expensive. Very expensive. I was laughing because I don't know if you watched Gary and Melanie's video where she was talking about that Linzer windshield attachment for her phone.
No, I ain't seen that.
You have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this unit up. And then you have to charge the base of this un And when you take it up to your window to set it on the window, you just push it on the glass a little bit, and the little pump kicks on, and it sucks it right to the glass.
Oh, okay.
And as long as it has a charge, which I found that mine needs to remain plugged in most of the time to keep it charged in this cold weather.
Yeah.
But as long as it has a charge, it stays stuck to the window. And then it's got an earth magnet on the other side of it that's in an adjustable frame that's really stiff.
Yeah.
And you just, on the back of your phone, you just put the metal ring on it. So when you go to put your phone up to the window, you just let go of it and it sucks it right to that base.
Okay.
Well, I bought mine, and the metal ring got pulled off the back of the phone. So I got a hold of the company, and they said, we'll send you a refund. Send a refund request. We'll send you a refund. And I said, well, I don't really want a refund. I just think I got a really bad metal base. So I'd just like to have you send me another metal base. Well, the one they sent me doesn't have the same sticker glue on it, like a 3M type glue.
Right.
This one's only got like a little thin film glue on it.
Yeah.
And I stuck the phone to the thing. And I was doing a Walmart trip, so it was like really handy to have it up here, so I could just say, okay, now I've reached the destination, blah, blah, blah. I took it down off that thing, and the metal ring is still on it today. Not on my phone, but on that magnet.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's got two of them stuck to it now. I figured by leaving the first one, it wouldn't have such strength that it would pull the second one off the back of the phone, and it did. But they sent me three of them, so I will find a way. I will.
Get some shoe goo. What's it called? Shoe goo.
Well, I don't want to mess up my phone case.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was thinking I have this external cover on my phone now, because I did this after the first one pulled off my phone.
Right.
I took my Dremel and cut a circle out of it.
Okay.
And that metal ring sits right inside this ring right here.
Yeah.
So that it'll stick there. And the reason why I did that was because if they weren't going to send me back another metal ring, I was just going to get like a can of tomato soup or something, cut the lid off from the top of it, wash it off really good.
Yeah.
Take the case off my phone, put that inside the case, and then put my phone back into the case. Well, that metal's never going to pull out of there, because this is a hard case to take apart.
Yeah, I'd say. That's like, well, my case, it's got 2, 4, 6. It's got 8 screws that hold it together, because it's a armor case.
Okay.
And it's a pain in the rear to take apart.
Yeah, mine has the Gorilla Glass front piece.
Yeah.
That has a ring around it, and then you have to put the back piece on, and then pinch the two of those together. And it's like a really, really super hard rubber. But I found out as I was cutting out the back of it, inside that hard rubber on the very inside of it, there's like an 1/8 inch thick of almost impenetrable, really super hard plastic.
Really?
My Dremel was smoking trying to get through it.
Yeah.
It made a mess. It made a mess, but I don't care, you know. I like one way or another, I'm still going to use that base.
Right. But I think Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead, I think he gave away one last week, yeah. And because it sounded just like it.
And one of the other things I did too was in the car, you got your regular 12-volt, like the old cigarette lighter type 12-volt outlets, and then 2 USB ports. One of them is made to send media to the car for like doing upgrades on software or whatever in the car.
Yeah.
The other one's for like charging your phone, but you can use either or for charging your phone. But this is really slow charge.
Yeah.
And so I found a company that carried the 12-volt one that goes into the cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
It comes out as a high-speed USB-C charger to plug right directly into my phone on a coiled cord, so I could just plug it into my phone, hook my phone up there, and 20 minutes later my phone's charged.
That's cool.
Well, doing those Amazon runs, you're always on your phone.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the store shopping, you're on your phone. When you're doing the drive, you're on your phone. And it's nonstop. So my phone was running down. I'd work 4 hours and have to go home and charge my phone back up.
Right.
If I wanted to work 5 hours, I'd have to have a better charger. And I said, well, then I'm going to buy a better charger anyway. Yeah, that wasn't even that expensive. I think I only paid maybe $14 for it through Amazon, but it might have been because I had Amazon points too, because I'm a Prime member.
Oh yeah.
I've ordered a lot of things. I use it because I like watching their movies.
I do too. Well, when I do, I don't hardly ever watch movies and stuff, but
I try to watch one or two on Sundays.
right.
Just give me something to do first thing in the morning. Be able to kick back, relax a little bit, and I don't know. To me, it's better than Prime. It's a hell of a lot better than HBO. I long time ago, I got my parents invested into HBO, and I told them I'll pay for it. I just want to be able to watch HBO.
Yeah.
My dad liked the idea of it because they had the HBO boxing series on Saturday nights.
Right.
And so I paid for it. But it got to the point where if you watch this movie on Friday night on HBO at, say, 7 o'clock, you can watch it again on Saturday night at, say, like 5 o'clock. And then you can watch it on Sunday night at like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And they keep it in a rotation for so long that every time you turn TV on, you're like, I've already watched this one.
Yeah. Well, that's when I was working on the road. Of course, we worked out of town 4 days a week, and staying in a motel. The only thing a lot of them, the only thing they'd have was HBO. So by the time you get every day, you was watching the same movies over and over again.
Yeah, because they didn't have a very good rotation of movies.
No.
At least Amazon has a great rotation of movies.
Yeah.
I gave up Netflix because they kept raising their price and the movies kept getting worse.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the value of the movie that it would provide you to watch. It was the quality of the movie they would provide for you to watch.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know, every 2 weeks you'd be able to watch one new movie, and you'd watch part of it going, yeah, I once saw it.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, I can watch another one.
Yeah. And, well, I guess next week, probably starting tomorrow, I'm going to getting my garden stuff ready for the new season. And so.
I see Tara down there. She's been at it.
Yeah. I got to get things out, get the boys to drag stuff out. Like I'm gonna do my garden all this year on the back porch and on the railing, going around it. And
yeah, why not? You have the room.
Well, yeah, and because I can still, it's hard for me to go up and down the steps down to the lower porch, and so I'm just going to do everything right there on the porch up here.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Build yourself a little step stool to that window so you can climb in next time you get locked out. And
yeah, the bad part about it is, where
planters on it, so everybody thinks it's just there for a plant stand.
Yeah. My keys was in my truck the entire time. I forgot they were there. But that was a good trip.
Yeah, it was. It was an awesome trip. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this year.
Except for the only part I didn't enjoy so much was going through all of Tennessee during the nighttime.
Yeah,
both ways. I was like, man, I really want to see what Tennessee looked like during the daytime.
Oh, it's beautiful, but it's
I'm sure
a long trip.
Yeah.
Because we went from tip to tip.
Yeah, and that's actually about almost the same length as what it is for us to go from the top to bottom of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania seems like an awful big state too, unless you drive side to side. Side to side is nothing.
Yeah. Well, West Virginia's the same way, going from north to south.
Yep.
Especially if you hit the panhandle. So,
yeah, the Tennessee, if we did north to south in Tennessee, it would have been like probably about 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I used to, when I worked for the Hot Shot Delivery Service, we delivered a lot of mining parts up around Pittsburgh. And I used to hate that drive from here up there. Because you go from, where I live.
Yep.
It's the entire state all the way up.
All right. Okay, imagine doing that twice and you get to my house.
Yeah. Well, if I knew you back then, I would have just went from there over to your house, and it's been a lot quicker.
I did the Philadelphia Flower Show one year, and man, it was a long drive down. I got sick when I was down there.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, now I got a 4-hour drive home. I don't feel good, and I drove home miserable all the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, never again. No, I don't know if I got sick because of the food I ate. I had a Philly cheesesteak because you're in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, you
Come
got
find
to.
out. Yeah, well, no, you don't, because I come to find out that's not why they call it the Philly cheesesteak.
Really?
It was some guy. It was some guy from Philadelphia that came up with the idea of it, and he'd moved to like Buffalo, New York, and started doing it, and he just called it the Philly cheesesteak because that was his creation when he was down there. But it wasn't not anything to do with the Philadelphia area, which I didn't know, and if I had, I probably wouldn't have ordered it because I'm pretty sure that's what made me sick that day.
Yeah. I went up there one time, delivered parts up to a mine, and it was called, I think it was Black Beauty Coal Mine, and I got up to the little town up there, and I could see the tipple up on top of the mountain from the town. And my directions stopped at the town. And I got there, and I asked everybody in town how to get up there to that tipple. And all of them said the same thing. Oh, is that what that is? We didn't know what that was up there. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was about this time of the year, and I was driving the F-350 two-wheel drive dually. And I found a set of railroad tracks that had a service road.
All right.
I said, well, I know these tracks is going to lead straight to the tipple. So I started going up there, and the snow was about 1.5 feet deep.
All right.
And I just had it to the floor, and that truck bouncing around, headlights going, you can see it in the treetops and stuff. And I finally got up there, and everybody was standing outside the maintenance shack. And I rolled in there, and I said, well, is this Black Beauty mine? I said, yeah. Was that you coming up through there? I said, well, yeah. He said, well, we looked up to see the headlights bouncing around. I said, well, I asked people in town. They said they didn't even know what this was up here. He said, yeah, we like to keep it that way. And that's why, how do y'all get there? Hey, we take the 4-lane highway on the other side of the building. I'm like, oh, God.
With all the snow plows and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It wasn't at the time.
It all depends if you're a driver or passenger. I'd have been laughing.
Because I didn't know if I'd make it up beside that mountain or not. Now, them mines, getting them mines, you don't know what you're going to get into.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird things like that around this area too.
I was out in Kansas. I think it was Kansas, yeah. And I was living apart, and I got right in the middle of a cornfield, and it said, "You've reached your destination." I'm like looking around, all I see is corn. I said, how can I be there? And about that time, there was the really big coal truck, that's about as wide as about 4 trucks side by side.
All right.
That sucker popped up out of the cornfield, jumped across the highway, and went back down into the cornfield.
Right.
They have a state law out there. All the coal tipples and any corporation has to be out of sight. So they dig them down into the middle of the field where the entire plant is on. You can't see it from the road.
Damn. It's kind of cool though.
Yeah, it was.
I remember we came back. We had to do a flower show out in Wisconsin, and on the way back through, I knew this lady in Ohio, and we were supposed to meet her. So I got the directions to her house. We're about 3/4 of the way to her house. Just started to go south through Ohio, and I was getting hungry. So I told Leah, I said, "We're going to stop and get something to eat." And so we found this really nice restaurant. We went in, got something to eat, and when we got ready to leave, the lady we were going down to see sent me a text and said, "I'm sorry, but something just came up. I am not going to be able to be home today." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine, not a problem." So we got back in the car, and at that time I was driving our Mazda. Didn't have GPS built into it, but I had a TomTom GPS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Tom.
We went back out to the car, and I just said, "Okay, change of plans. Now we're going home."
Mm-hmm.
And the TomTom sent us down into the western side of Pennsylvania. And I was like, "All right." And it said, "Okay, we'll take a left on this road here." Okay, so we took a left on it. And next thing you know, while we're driving down through, there's like a mountain on this side and a drop off on this side, and we're in the middle of this huge mountain range.
Yeah.
But it's not showing my car on the road. It's showing my car way up here on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, well, I know we're headed north. That's all that matters. We're headed north. As long as we keep going north, we will run into New York at some point in time. I don't know what part of New York, but we'll run into New York.
Right.
So I quit relying on the GPS at that point because it was just not even saying I was even on the road or anything.
Yeah.
And we came into this little town, and there was a car. Bye, Beverly. There was this car that was in front of us that had a bumper sticker on it that said, "Ithaca is gorgeous." And I looked at Leah and I says, "Our ticket home." And she's like, "What?" And I said, "All we gotta do is follow that car."
Yeah.
She says, "What do you mean?" I said, "That's somebody that lives in Ithaca, New York. Once we get to Ithaca, getting home's easy." So we followed that car, and I am so glad we did because there were areas where they put in traffic circles that I did not know there were traffic circles.
Yeah.
And that would have thrown me off course. I felt just by driving north, it would have thrown me off course so bad because it wasn't always a due north road going off the traffic circle. It'd be kind of like a go west and then it circles back north kind of deal.
Yeah.
We stayed behind that car until we got all the way back to Ithaca, and I was like, "Good, I'm glad we found somebody that was from Ithaca that we could follow back home."
Yeah. Well, when I was over in Iraq in I think the 03 to 05 tour, we was right on the Iraq-Iranian border, and we had the Blue Force tracker, which is supposed to be the military grade.
Right.
It had a 3-minute delay on it.
Really?
Yeah. And we was going out there, going on the route, and we knew he was right on the border. And next we topped up over a hill, and there's 2 Iranian tanks sitting there, and the turns just went. Yep. Like, oh, throw this son of a bitch in reverse. That's because it was showing us miles on the other side of the border, and we had somebody send us Garmin GPS systems.
Yeah, I had a Garmin. Garmin aren't bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlene Grady, how we doing?
Hey, Charlene.
Yeah, Garmin. Actually, I think Garmin was the last one that I bought.
Right.
Yeah, I believe it's a Garmin that I've got sitting in a bag down on my table that I took out of the car when I sold the car.
Yeah, I got mine somewhere. I think it's the one I had because I still have my old military footlocker, and I think all that's still in there. It's still got all the roads and everything mapped out that we use.
See, my thing is that my truck has built-in GPS. My car has built-in GPS. So now I've got a Garmin GPS unit that I haven't used in probably, I don't know, 5 years now, maybe.
Right.
And Actually, probably longer than that.
Yeah.
But I should put it. I should put it on Facebook Marketplace, but I haven't had much luck with that lately out there.
Really?
I've had better luck on Craigslist than I have Facebook Marketplace.
I like to get one like what Greg's got. That he
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't drive or anything, but it looked cool when sitting in the truck.
Right.
While it's sitting in the driveway.
Yeah. And then when you get bored, you can just pull up somebody's video.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually thought that was a pretty cool feature of our trip down there, was being able to watch these other people's videos and stuff going down.
It was.
You know, there's like, okay, well, we don't have a TV with us, but we got this.
Yeah. See, and y'all thought I was asleep all the way out there. I was just being quiet watching.
I thought you were asleep most of the way.
I know you did. But, well, you got to think, that's the first time I've been out of the house in almost 3 years. So
Greg was asleep half the way there too. Unfortunately, I had to get him up behind the wheel.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple times I hollered at you while you were driving to make sure you're still awake.
Yeah. I'm just normally not real noisy when I'm driving. You know.
I'm not either.
I'll put the radio on so I can hear it and just kick back, relax, and go for the run.
Yeah.
Although I laugh at my car because my car talks to me. Like if I'm doing the spark runs and stuff for Walmart,
right?
I use the car GPS because it's very, very accurate as to where are you right now and where are you supposed to be going.
Yeah.
So it'll say, okay, well, in the next half mile, turn left, and in the next quarter mile, turn left, and it'll give you the name of the road, which it never says the name of the road is proper anyway, but it gives you the name of the road. But then when you get right up next to the road, it said, turn left on such and such a road, turn left. And it's like, yeah, okay, now I'm really left because you mispronounced the name of the road 3 times. Now I'm reading it. You definitely didn't want to get that one right.
Yeah. That was the only thing.
It does it all the time. And then when you're getting close to where you're going, when you're within a half a mile away from where your destination is, it'll tell you what side of the road it's going to be on. Mm-hmm. And that's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
And I had one that I was really having trouble finding. And I drove up and I'm like, yeah, there's a driveway here, but I don't see any house or nothing. I don't know if this is the right one. There's a barn by the road and that's all I see. Well, that driveway could be a lead down into the cornfield for the tractors. I don't know. I don't see no house down there. Yeah. So I backed up a ways. And it told me, no, go forward 500 feet. Okay, I went forward 500 feet. Well, I'm right back to that driveway. It says, you have reached your destination. Your destination is on your right. And I'm like, okay. So I grabbed all the bags and everything. And I started walking down the driveway. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is down into somebody's house because the only thing in the driveway is tractor tracks.
Right.
But what I didn't understand was she was down there on her tractor plowing the driveway.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I pulled back up the second time, she parked the tractor and got in her truck in front of the barn. And I went over and she said, oh, you can just pop them right there in the back for me. I was like, oh, okay. So she unlocked the door. I opened the door. I put what little bit she had in the back, took a picture of it. She was on the phone. She goes, thank you. Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas or whatever, you know. Got back in the car and left us. Well, thank God she came out and was in her phone. We were in her truck on her phone because, man, I thought I was lost.
Right.
I didn't think there was really a house down there. I thought it was just a tractor field, you know.
Well, the only thing about Greg's that I didn't like that, well, it wasn't that bad, but when we stopped and got gas at one time and went to get back on the interstate, and it said, turn right now, and you did.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's a turnaround place there that we could turn around because it sent us down to Service Road. And there's some other big rigs parked there. We had room to turn around and come back out. But it was like there was from the entrance onto the interstate and the that service road that we turned down. There was only like 5 feet between the two.
Right. Now, the only thing I didn't like about Greg's is it didn't tell you where Walmart was.
Yeah.
That was funny. We were over there at the party, and I knew I needed a shower bad. And
yeah,
well, we were talking to somebody. I think it was Jason and Tara. I'm not real sure. I'm kind of inclined to think it was Jason and Tara. And he said to me, he says, "Yeah," he says, "don't believe the locals around here." He says, "What you got to do is remember when you got off the exit, instead of turning left to come here, you turn right." So I said to Greg, I said, "Well, that's too easy. We just drive out here, get back on the road we came in on, and we just keep going straight, and we'll run right into Walmart. That's pretty cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a dead end.
Right.
We had to go back, get on the highway, and go back to the last exit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, don't believe the people from around here. Well, you got me on that one.
Yeah.
But that was a good part of the trip, actually.
Oh yeah.
The whole thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole thing was great.
I just wish that Mike and Melissa would have had the money and the materials when we were there to start their home, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Put the walls together or whatever.
Yeah. That wouldn't have took no time.
Well, heck no. One day, and we probably would have been able to walk back out of there, and would have had the bedrooms and the bathroom all aligned and ready to go.
Yeah.
You know? They've gone a long way since then. Because they were in the camper way down back, and then they pulled the camper up, and built between the two of them, and now they got the water in. Like I said, he's really working hard to get the electric put in, just for nothing else to charge the battery charges when the sun's not out, which I can understand that.
Oh yeah. And
then they've got a deal set up with a septic system and stuff now, so that's going to be going in soon.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, he did some horse bartering with lifts to be able to get the hole dug for the septic system.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest part of the septic, getting that hole dug.
Yeah, well, get the hole dug, filling in the back end probably counts too, but
yeah,
most of it be filled in with the tank, so that's the easy one.
Yeah,
you know. And for a family of 5, I don't imagine it'd be that big of one.
No, but of course, they have to have inspections and stuff. It ain't like here. I still do it. I watch and give pointers how to do it. So I just use the plastic 50-gallon drums and it works for small stuff. It depends on how much usage you're going to have. But for a camper or a little cabin, you can use 2 55-gallon drums, plastic drums, and it'd be plenty.
I cheated when I had my camps. I always just went out and bought a porta potty.
Yeah.
You can buy a used porta potty for about $125. And I was getting mine from a company called Drain. And you could just get a hold of them, and they charge you $30 to come out, pump it out, clean it out, leave you new toilet paper, and drive away again. And there was well more enough toilet paper in there for 1 or 2 people to use for a month. So you never ran out of toilet paper. And I actually made friends with the guy that was pumping ours out. So the first I started with a rental one, and I was renting it from this guy's aunt. And he went back to the shop because he was going by our house all the time anyway. He went back to the shop and told his aunt, he says, "No, I picked that porta potty up like last week. They're not running anymore." So she quit billing us for it. So he gave us that porta potty basically.
Right.
And he told me, his name, they called him Animal. But he told me, he says, "As long as I know where that porta potty is and it doesn't go within like 15 miles outside of this area, I will always be able to come pump it out and I won't charge you for it."
Cool.
Oh, I like Animal. I'll always have a cold beer in the refrigerator for you, brother.
Uh-huh.
Always. That's all he wanted, you know. Halfway through his day, he'd want a beer. He's ready to call it a day, and he can't stop yet. He still got more to do. So he'd stop in, he'd have a couple of beers with me, and he'd dump ours out and clean it out, leave us with the toilet paper. He always left us with the one of the big extra rolls.
Right.
So it was the glory game with him.
Yeah.
And then after I sold a camp and that Porta John went with a sale, we started the garage over in McLean, and I reached out to Drain Brain and I said, hey, I need to have one of these one of your used porta potties. And the guy says, well, you got to come out to the yard and you got to go through them all and figure out which ones you want. Some of them are damaged, some of them aren't so bad, some of them are pretty nice. He says, price depending on what you're looking to get.
Yeah.
So I went out there, and of course I'm out there with a freaking salesman. Now, who would like you to be walking through a used porta potty yard with a guy dressed in PC, right?
Yeah.
But I was out there with a salesman, and we're going through all these different porta potties. I mean, they got some really nice ones out these days. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But they had one out. It was a male on one side, female on the other. So the male side had the Earl and the John, and the female side had two Johns.
Yeah.
Of course, it was about $1,900 if you wanted it.
Yeah.
And the pump out fee was like 3 times higher than it would be if you just got the little tiny single one, which is all I wanted.
Right.
But yeah, I ended up getting one. It wasn't damaged too bad. It had a tree hit at the side of it, and it cracked the fiberglass. And I was like, you can't see through it. I don't care. And they're like, yeah, but it's gonna leak rain. It's going to be put inside of this. I'm putting it inside of a building. It's not going to leak shut. Well, how are you going to vent it if it's inside the building? I'm going to vent it right out the eave of the building. What do you mean? Oh my God!
Exactly. Yeah.
I put in a 4-inch pipe from the porta potty tank all the way up through the roof and right through the roof of the garage up into the attic space. And I always told everybody there, I says, if worst case comes to scenario, I'll just go out and I'll buy what they call a Street 90.
Yeah.
Put a computer fan on the bottom of the sweep of it.
Yep.
And put a sensor upstairs. So if it starts to smell something downstairs and not upstairs, it'll just automatically turn the fan on, and we'll put a solar panel on the roof to run it by.
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah. And they were like, you can do all that? And I says, yeah, for about $20.
Yeah.
They're like, no way. And I was like, yeah, that stuff's cheap, you know?
Yeah.
I actually built a test solar heater. I was getting really big on just solar heat. And there was a guy that put out a video showing how he built his solar heaters out of the aluminum downspouts from rain gutters inside of an insulated wood box with a window top.
I've seen that. I've seen that done. Well,
I watched his video and I'm like, I can do this. This is easy. I can do this. So I went and I bought two of the downspouts, and I bought a bunch of 3/4 inch electrical conduit connectors. They go from like a box to box.
Right. Yeah.
Where your knockouts are. So you got the short nipple inside of it, and then the wing nuts on the sides of it to close them up. That's how you held these things together. And then you just had to go, okay, well, the air's going to come in from the top, come through that pipe and go up, so that them two need to be kept together.
Right.
And then it'll come back up the other way, and then them two need to be kept together. And then it does the same thing. So they're kept every one on the opposite ends or whatever. You got one in and one out.
Right.
Paint everything flat black. Put glass in front of it. I hooked it up with a 12-volt computer fan.
Yeah.
I set up a digital thermometer to it so I could keep track of the ingoing air temperature and outgoing air temperature.
Right.
And we took it out and we set it out in the sun with a solar panel attached to it. It got so hot that the solar panel was generating more than 13.9 volts before it shuts down the computer fan.
Really?
So it shut down the computer fan. It got so hot.
Dang.
And I was like, okay, wait a minute. So I reached out to my fan company. I said, I need the next bigger fan than the one you just sent me, but I need it to be a 24-volt fan.
Right.
and they sent that to me, and I hooked that all up in the system, and I took it out, and I set it out in the sun on the 12-volt fan side. As the sun was coming up in the morning, it was going in at like about 65 degrees and coming out about 98.
Right.
And then when it got closer to high noon, that little 12-volt fan would shut off. The bigger 24-volt fan would kick in. And at that point, it was pushing probably about 85 degrees coming air in and like 165 air out. I was like, that will heat the garage.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. That will heat the garage. So I actually was looking really serious into setting this thing up in the garage and going a big scale one. I mean, mine was only a little, I think it was I still got it. It's out behind my garage. I think it's like 2.5 feet wide by 3 feet tall.
Right.
And it was just a Chinese solar panel that I think I paid $5 for.
Right.
You know, a flexible one.
Yeah.
I'm into playing around with stuff like that, and back then I really was, because my shop was always cold.
Yeah.
The other half of the shop, which was the landlord's half, he always had a heat source, you know, a big old wood stove or whatever.
Yeah.
My side had absolutely nothing, just a big window.
Yeah.
A big window, 1/4 inch plexiglass, and I could get a lot of solar heat through that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, the sun was coming over from the sides instead of up from the front. And so I was just like, all right, well, I just got to keep playing with it, And then I finally found Smart Home, the company that sells all kinds of cool products. Smart Home sells what they call smart outlets or smart plugs.
Right.
And I took a smart plug. I bought 2 real short extension cords. I ran a heat duct from just inside of the landlord's side of the shop, right at the ceiling line. I put 2 6-inch heat ducts in there, drove right beside it, running an extension cord through the wall, and inside of the heat duct on my side of the shop, I put in one of those inline duct heaters.
Yeah.
And I plugged it into the smart plug. The smart plug only worked when it got 75 degrees or hotter on up to the ceiling line. Once it hit below 75, the fans would shut off. And I heated the whole shop that way. I had one on each side of my shop, and they were blowing down towards the center, so they'd cross airflow.
Right.
And my side of the shop actually was warmer than his, because I was stealing all the hot air out of his.
Yeah.
I had a ceiling fan put in mine to keep it down to the floor and stuff. And
right.
He finally talked me into going over and putting ceiling fans in his, and I was like, oh, yeah, I can do it. It's not an issue. Yeah. It's just you got to buy the ceiling fans. They're not cheap. Actually, the ceiling fan I've got on my back porch right now, it looks like an airplane propeller. It's just a 2-blade.
Right.
I bought that for my wood shop, but it was so nice I didn't want to put it in my wood shop. Well, I held on to it. I went to Lowe's and I bought a contractor's fan.
Right.
Because it was like $48. This one was like $299.
Right. Yeah. I don't blame you there.
It doesn't look like much. It doesn't spin real fast, but boy, I'll tell you what, it moves air like crazy.
Oh yeah.
You ever get behind an airplane propeller?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You can go up here on the other side of Beckley, and you can take plane rides in an old World War II trainer plane with a biplane.
Yep.
And yeah, once
those biplanes are cool.
Yeah, once they get fired up, that's if it wasn't for them the windshields and stuff, you couldn't.
Well, that's why they gave you the leather skull cap with the goggles and stuff to wear, because that thing was kicking everything in your face.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's a cool trip. You go up for about 30 minutes, then they bring you back. And
all right. Yeah, I had a guy. We used to call him an uncle, because him and my dad were best friends, and he had a private plane, and I used to go to his house every once in a while. And say, hey Jack, next time you go up in the plane, can I go with you? And he's like, yeah. Where do you want to go? And I said, well, I'll fly over this person's place or this person's place and get up there and take pictures of their place from the sky, right? And then take them down to the local I don't remember the name of the places now. They used to have these little booths set up. It was like a Kodak booth or whatever. They'd set up in the mall parking lots, and you drop your film off, and they'd process it for you.
Yeah.
But I'd have them blow the pictures up. Because every picture I ever took with that camera on a roll of film was people's properties, and I'd have them blow every picture up to be like a wall-size print.
Right.
And then I drive over to their houses and say, I was in an airplane and I took a picture of your property. Would you like to have this? This is how much I need to get paid for it, because that's how much I had to pay for the gas for the plane to go do it. I never had to pay for the gas for the plane.
That's cool.
He was just so enthralled that this kid's trying to turn this into a business. I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I was probably about, I don't know, 10, 12 years old at the time.
Yeah.
But
hey.
Unfortunately, he passed away, so I couldn't turn it into a business, because there are people out there doing that and making a killing.
Oh, yeah. Well, they do it. You can do that have that done around here too.
Yeah, well, now you can do it on Google.
Right. But
you don't even need to do the flyover anymore.
Yeah. But it ain't like what you can get from a plane, though.
No, because you can't get the right angles and views, show all the fields and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we went up probably, I'm gonna say a good 20 times with purpose, just to take pictures.
Yeah.
I tell them, well, this is the address of what I want to fly over. And if there were a couple good farms side by side, I take the picture of one, and then when we kept going up through, I'd wait till I get the right view, and I'd take the picture of the second one, and then I'd hit them both up, and like, for this print, I want $25. This print, I want $25. Yeah. I was only paying like $3 for each print.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying him anything, because for him it was a good experience, because now he had to learn the roads that he was flying over.
Exactly. And
he told me, he says, if you ever lose your ability to know what roads you're over, and your equipment panel goes down, you have to know when you're getting close to that airport. And this helps me, because now I know the roads that I'm flying over, and I'm getting better at being able to find the airport without looking at my gauges and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Drake just sent me a message. He said he's on his way up here, so I'm gonna have to drop off here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drop off too. It's been long enough.
Yeah. But it's good seeing everybody in the chat, and David, it's always good to see you, brother. I missed the last 2 weekends.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. Actually, last weekend, nobody joined in. It was real short and sweet. I think I was in here 30 minutes.
Well, I had you were on the TV and stuff while we were up there. Well, one of the boys was up top, and I was telling him what to do. And of course, I had to go back up after. I had to go out afterwards and redo what he did. And
no, that's kind of the way it works, isn't it?
But these boys, yeah.
But, all right, so I'll catch you later. And Troy, you have a good night. Everybody else have a good night.
All right, y'all take care.
Yep,
if I can figure out how to get off this thing. Oh, at least
enjoy your lovely weekend, people.
All right.
All right, see you later.